Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a review of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This entire review will be spoiler free. So starting off, Caraval was like one of my most anticipated books from BEA, and for some reason I didn't read it until very recently, but I'm really glad that I did wait because it was really nice to read it with like Christmas lights as a backdrop, because this is just such like a whimsical story that it felt right. To me, it's such a wintry read. So it's like perfect that it's coming out at the end of January. This is a book that I cannot suggest pre-ordering enough because it is absolutely a new favorite of mine. Caraval is pitched as a book for lovers of the night circus, and while I do see why there are some night circus comparisons, I would also have to say that it is just completely different. So it's not like you're going to be getting like a retelling of the night circus or anything. This is absolutely its own original story, but it does capture those really like whimsical elements of the night circus. You get like just the feel of being there, and just like the descriptions of everything. I honestly felt like I was at Caraval while I was reading, which is the most enjoyable part of this novel. It's just reading all of the descriptions of everything and just like really putting yourself in that setting. I absolutely fell in love with the game of Caraval, with all of like the backdrop that it takes place in, and definitely 100% with the characters in this novel. I should probably tell you what it's about. So Caraval is the story of two sisters. Our main character's name is Scarlett and her sister's name is Tella, and Scarlett and Tella live on an island. It's like a conquered island with their father, who's very abusive, and the two of them grew up hearing tales about Caraval from their grandmother. So they both had these like wild dreams of attending, and Scarlett has been writing to Legend, who is the like head of Caraval, every year since she was younger, because she really wants to get tickets for her and Tella to see and experience all of the things that her grandmother had told her about. So she sends a letter year after year after year and gets no response back. Scarlett's father actually sets up an arranged marriage for her, and she's to be married in, I think it's like a week's time or something. But right before that is going to happen, she finally gets a letter back from Legend. It's inviting her, her sister Tella, and her fiance to come to the place where Caraval is going to be performing and to partake in this year's festivities. So Caraval is a game. It's a performance, but it's very interactive. You can either go and watch or you can go and participate, but the majority of people that go are going to be participants. So before you enter the game, you're warned multiple times that everything that happens is just a game. You can't let Caraval sweep you away, because there are people who have been driven mad, like just attending this event, because things that are not real seem so real. So it was really, really interesting on that aspect. But anyway, so they get these tickets, and then the game becomes kind of personal because Tella gets kidnapped, and the whole game of Caraval this year is the first person to find Tella is going to be the one to win the game. So Scarlett is our main character. The book is told from the third person point of view, but it is like mainly following Scarlett. So I really, really enjoyed reading like about her and about her thoughts in this game. Scarlett is a character that is the victim of abuse. She's very scared. She follows her father's rules because she doesn't want anything bad to happen to herself or to her sister, and she has let herself be controlled by him for her whole life. But when Tella convinces her to break the rules, kind of, and go off and experience Caraval because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Scarlett really learns a lot about herself, and she definitely, like, part of why I liked her so much is because she has this like rigid set of rules for herself, but she really breaks out of them, and they're really like self-imposed limits. So I think that she learns a lot about herself throughout the game of Caraval. She begins to question a lot of things just in her life. Her story arc was just so great. It was so nice to read. Then we have her sister Tella, and because Tella is the character that is kidnapped for this game, she is largely absent from the majority of the novel, but even still, I have no problem. Like, I can tell you everything about Tella's character. She is such a strong character, and despite her not being there, you get a full picture of the kind of person that she is, the way that she makes decisions and stuff. So she was really, really interesting, and I really liked that even without her there, she was so well developed. And then our final main character, or kind of, is Julian. Julian is a sailor who Tella gets involved with, and he is the way that the girls get over to see Caraval. Julian is such a great character. You don't really know whether you can trust him or not throughout the whole thing, and neither does Scarlett. So just watching their story unfold was like fascinating. And I had some ideas of what I thought was going on, and I was totally wrong, which was really, really like a breath of fresh air, because I feel like I've been able to guess things a lot recently, and I just really did not know what was happening. And I honestly, Alexa had read it like right before I did, and I had to text her like toward the climax of the novel, because I was like, oh my God, like this is happening, but is it really happening? Because it's just a game, but is it just a game? Like there's just so much more to the story. And I felt like I personally was going mad, like getting swept away by Caraval, which is just the way that I wanted it. Like this really just fulfilled everything that I was looking for in this novel. And then there's Legend, who is the head of the games, and he's a really interesting character because he is so mysterious. There's not much that we know about him, and it's really interesting to like learn about his character and to just learn more about what's going on behind the scenes of Caraval, what's going on with this year's game, just all of the story that went into it. It was so beautifully crafted and just such a phenomenal read. And I will say that despite Caraval being the first book in a series of books, the ending tied everything up very nicely. So there is like a bit of information that we're given at the end that will definitely make you interested in the next book, but you're not left like asking all these questions or being like, oh my God, that was a huge cliffhanger. What am I going to do now? Like, it's intriguing, but everything that you need to have wrapped up is wrapped up here. So I really, really appreciated that. And I think that it definitely speaks to like the talent of the author to be able to answer all those questions, but still have the reader feel so interested in reading that next book. I just think that's like something that's really hard to do, and Stephanie Garber 100% accomplished that in this book. So I talked a little bit about just the way that you feel like you're at Caraval, but I just want to say it again, like this was the most sensory book that I've ever read. I felt like I could smell the roses, I could taste that chocolate, and everything in here was just so perfectly explained and so descriptive, but it wasn't overly descriptive. Everything felt like very organic, and it was just so beautiful and mysterious and just so magical. Like there was just such an air of magic to everything that went on in here. So I really, really enjoyed reading this like completely. I pre-ordered 2 copies of this because I love it that much. And just honestly, this is so pretty. This is an ARC version of the book, and it was still so gorgeous. So there's different sections, and they have this really pretty print in here, and it shows you like where you're going to be. This is the Isle of Trisda. That's the island that Scarlett and Tella live on, and that's the first section in the book. But overall, definitely recommend this. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so very much. And I really, really hope that everyone else reads it because it's just amazing. And it already got picked up to be adapted into a film, which is really exciting. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that as well. But let me know if you've read Caraval. Let me know any of your thoughts on it. Don't get spoilery because I don't want anybody to be spoiled before they read it. So that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys in a new one. Goodbye!